Good morning and welcome to Brewing Happiness. Hope you have a cup of coffee or a cup of your favorite brew to join me this morning, and as we have another little chat on this Magic Monday. Here we are back in the saddle, back in the week, starting over, brand new week, brand new opportunity, brand new discussion. So, we all have had those experiences where we meet someone and we feel an instant connection, right? We feel a connection that we can't explain. It defies logic or reason because it's almost like we were destined to meet this person, because the connection that we feel with them is instant and it's deep and it far surpasses the time invested in the relationship or the amount of time or the amount of that we've actually gotten to know someone. In those very first seconds of meeting, all of a sudden we're filled with deep emotions, deep connections, sometimes a desire to hug someone that we've never met before, right? These people, these soul connections, these folks that we meet and instantly the tumblers are all rolling and all of a sudden things just ba-boom, 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 ba-boom line up. And all of a sudden we realize that this is a relationship that has meaning and we don't even know anything about it yet, right? These people are sometimes often see things in ourselves that we don't see and can reflect back to us or trigger us in ways that we don't understand. And the insights can be sharp. They can be quick. They can even be unpleasant. Not every soul connection that comes your way might be all love and happiness, because it might be the connection might be something that needs to jar you or spark you. And it's going to take something more than just, deep love to make that happen. So we call these people our soulmates or our twin flames, our karmic mates. There are soul connections, right? Now, some believe that these people are people with whom we have made soul agreements with before ever incarnating, that we've agreed back in the time before we came to this earth that we're going to play different roles for each other. We're going to bring different lessons to each other. We're going to provide some karmic viewpoints that we need in order to resolve something or just to evolve into our best self. Now, some people, this is a little woo-woo for some, right? It's a little too esoteric, unsubstantiated. So we're going to start with the assumption that we all have a soul. We have a cosmic, energetic counterpart that is beyond the physical, what do they call it? Meat package, the physical body that we have here on earth. That is souls, we are eternal, that the thought of us was conceived long before we actually made our appearance here, and that our soul will continue long after our time here on earth is done. So we're going to assume that's true for this chat. I believe it's true. Most of us do, right? And then secondly, this idea is that as souls, we have an entire life outside of the human package that we're in, right? That we have connections and we have relationships and we have discussions and we have helpmates and people that we interact with on an ethereal, esoteric level, right? On a astral plane, in a dimension that we are unfamiliar with from this world. But there simply is no denying the connection. Sometimes you meet someone and you are smacked hard with it, and you have a desire, almost a compulsion, a need to explore this relationship further because there is something there for you. We are soulmates, and sometimes we think this is defined exclusively as a romantic or a one-on-one relationship. But the truth is, we probably meet many of these connections in our lifetime, right? In various different relationships and roles and different times in our lives. And while we might marry a soulmate, sometimes, like I said, relationships can last for a day, a week, a month, one season. They may be temporary, they may be fleeting, they may be permanent, they may serve a lifetime of purpose for us, or they may just be here to help us with a single lesson, right? But the energy that you exchange with them is the lesson, is the beginning of delivering, of them being there to deliver the lesson that you most need to learn. And then whether or not you get anything from this lesson, right? There's lessons all around us. There's communication going on with us all day, every day. And whether or not we're tuned into those, or we pay attention, or we actually, take advantage of these relationships, well, that just kind of depends on how closely we're paying attention, right? Whether you see, respond, or learn the lesson depends on how you respond to what's happening around you and how you process this new information. If you're stuck in a blame cycle and someone comes into your life to help you learn and brings the scenario back again, but you don't want to see past where you are, they may just be another example of blame to you, right? Not the lesson that shows you how to jump past that. That's up to you. But it's out there. Are you listening, right? Because no matter these relationships are intense, they're deeply intense, and they bring about emotional responses that truly even can catch us by surprise. You might not know you had that depth. You might feel something about something that your conscious mind never really thought about, right? Because these are reactions. These are gut reactions on a visceral plane that are bigger than our minds, because they have a cosmic connection to our souls. So they preceded our arrival here on Earth. Big stuff, big ideas, right? But these are emotions that can, it's a soul connection. These are emotions that can transport us to a different space and time. We see the bigger picture, right? We make connections that we never made before. We're part of a bigger reality. And perhaps this is all going on in a split second of meeting someone. These perceptions, these insights, this quickening, this deep emotion is happening in an instant, and we're not even aware of all the dynamics that are at play. We sense when we meet someone and we say, I feel like I've known you all my life, or I just feel so comfortable with you. We sense that link that really transcends the earthly plane and the practical details of a relationship, right? But there are many types of soul relationships that serve many purposes. So one is called a soul partner or a soul tie. These are relationships that are here to support us, right? That are here to be, it could be a lifelong partner. It could be a lifelong, someone in your life, although not your partner for your life, let's say a sibling or a family friend. It could be a spouse, or it could be just a really temporary relationship, just there to support you for that specific incident or event, right? It just comes, you might find yourself inspired to make room for this person in your life. You weren't looking for a new relationship. You weren't out looking for a new friend. You weren't looking to add maybe an activity to your life, but you feel so inspired. You so need to know someone. You need to know what this connection is all about, that you lean into the relationship, and maybe things happen that you had no idea of or no plan to follow up on. Past life soul partners or souls, we may have past life soul. Okay, here we go. Past life soul partners. We may have known them in a past life, right? Our souls may have interacted together as humans in a previous incarnation. Again, we're making the assumption that we come and go a couple different times. Jessica Nicole, good morning. I feel this way about someone I recently met. Yay! So this is very topical. Excellent. I think we all have these happen in our lives, whether or not we're paying attention or not, whether or not we are letting ourselves feel that intensity, or whether we just feel it and move on, or we actually lean into it and explore it. Well, that's up to us. But I think these happen in our whole lives. Debbie says, good morning. Past lives and soul partners. Like I said, these are folks we've known in maybe multiple past lives. Maybe we've interacted with them over and over again. And we have this, what they call a soul recognition, right? That's when that comfortability, or that connection is so intense and instantaneous that it's because it's bringing the energies of past relationships, past energies from past lives that have built up. Maybe tension, maybe love, who knows? But maybe these energies are built up, and so we're getting a supercharge of elements in these relationships. Now, these can be very powerful emotions, according to Dr. Brian Weiss, an MD and psychiatrist and past life regression expert. Two souls can agree to reincarnate and navigate toward each other after spending thousands of years apart, which is a little bit romantic, right? Our sense of time here, we have very short lives here compared to eternity. So these agreements might have been made, who knows what, right? But it doesn't mean you're destined for a romantic relationship, no matter what your past dynamics were. Our relationships change. Someone that was a lover in a past life could just be a friend this time, a parent, a mentor, a sibling. I have a joke with one of my daughters who's so organized and well put together and gets a little frustrated with me because I'm frenetic and I'm not a good planner. And my joke is she was my mom in another life, because I find being mothered by her sometimes. We change. It's a dance. We change partners all the time. But that recognition is undeniable. Undeniable. And if you suspect a past life connection, especially with a current friend or especially a current love, well, you just want to try to bring as much healing to that situation, even if you break up. It might look like you're releasing them with love or wishing them well, even though they're moving out of your life. Often when souls come back together, it's to resolve something that didn't get resolved the first time around, right? They're looking to heal something or do it better this time. And this goes back to our treat everyone with kindness, treat everyone with love and kindness and forgiveness. We don't know what happened. We don't know what we're not always consciously aware of all that's going on, right? All that's going on. What's with my light? You see the light flash? Or is that just me? Maybe it's just me. All right. Karmic souls are sometimes called wrecking ball soulmates. We are creating karma with people all the time, through every interaction we have, right? Big and small. The earth plane here, where we live here in our physical bodies, the earth plane is a cause and effect environment, right? It's a bada bing, bada boom kind of a relationship. And every single relationship we have creates energy that could be adding to karma, right? Could turn into karma. And karmic relationships are change agents, and they can be positive or negative. Sometimes karmic relationships aren't that much fun, right? But they offer us opportunity for change, to change the way we operate in the world, to grow in our experience, in our perspective, to get insights far larger than maybe our current experiences allow us to see. So our souls crave new experiences. Our souls want to grow and evolve and things. And so that's why they're seeking out these past relationships. They're working to help us do that evolving and growing. Maybe even if we don't want to sometimes. Especially when we don't want to sometimes, right? Sometimes that cosmic relationship or that soul relationship is pushing you into things that are uncomfortable, challenges, things you have really worked hard at avoiding. I told you we're excellent repressors. And so sometimes our soulmates are here to remind us that that's not something we're supposed to forget about. We're not supposed to stuff down. We're supposed to pull it out and open it up and look at it fully and get past the whatever is there that's keeping us with a belief or a value or a behavior that's just not helping us, right? So then there is, of course, the romantic soulmate. We think of a soulmate. We think that it's a romantic partner. And they can be. And they certainly can be. You meet someone, you're like, I've waited my whole life to meet someone like this. Or I just felt this instant connection and I knew it was right. But these romantic soulmates, they tend to tap dance on our biggest wounds and they challenge us in sometimes uncomfortable ways. You know, being in a romantic relationship, you're like being in a classroom, right? You're getting to know each other. There's a lesson every day. These are lessons that are brought on every day because we feel so intensely, because we are so connected, because a love relationship is such a reflection back on who we are and what we feel and how we operate, that it's being tested and explored and poked at and challenged every day. Or it can just be something that's just never felt the same. Maybe you all of a sudden in a relationship, you said, never in my life have I been in a relationship with someone where it's so comfortable. Good morning, Joanne. Yes. We're having a crowd again this morning. So maybe you're in a relationship with someone and you say, I've really never had this happen before. I've never felt this close. I never got this comfortable to someone this quickly, right? That is a cosmic connection that cannot be denied. And that cannot be explained because there's not enough experience in the earthly plane, in the relationship, in the time that you've had together to form that deep connection. So it has to come from somewhere, right? Now, a twin flame, they sometimes you refer to a soulmate as a twin flame. And some believe that the twin flame is actually a single soul that's split into two people. Just saying what I've heard. I don't know. That sounds like you have half a soul, but maybe there's a better explanation for it. But twin flames challenge, support, love, teach, and heal each other in unique way. They maybe have a secret language, a secret connection that just is not happening with anyone around them. Sometimes our twin flame can be careful. Sometimes the twin flame can be the shadow side of your soul, right? Can be there to partner the dark elements. In any case, we're always going to be aware of the impact, the connection, what's being brought up, what lessons we're supposed to learn. If we're living in awareness and we're mining our lives and looking for these clues, for these insights, for these stories that are happening all around us. Sometimes you got to stop talking. Sometimes you just got to stop talking to hear what's happening in the ether. And that's where we're going to go evaluate, right? Who is this soul? Why is they here? What am I learning? Soulmates don't have to be romantic. They can be companions, friends, siblings. They can be just as important. These relationships can be just as important as our, they can even be work relationships. You can have a cosmic connection. You can have a past soul connection with someone who you meet at work. We don't know. These are souls destined to be in our lives to love and support us. Our soulmates are our spiritual sidekicks, right? We have history. We have language. We have memories together. Even if we don't remember them in here, we remember them in here. And that's what we're feeling, right? That's what that connection is. That's what we're feeling. We need soulmate friends in our lives, right? We need them, whether they're here for just a very quick moment in time or they're here for a lifetime. And then there are soul families. We can have groups of souls that travel together. Some souls actually travel lifetime after lifetime together because not all soul connections are one-on-one. They may be actual families. They may be like souls of people who keep incarnating as members of our family. They actually may be souls that we've connected through past trauma, or right, past, or a common cause, maybe, right? We just have souls that have connected over common language, even if we've never actually been humans together. A soul may just incarnate to help change a cycle in a family, maybe a cycle of abuse or a cycle of addiction in a family. And a soul member may say, I need to help out with this, and incarnate just to make a change, just to break a pattern. And then finally, on our list of the types of souls we meet, kindred souls. Kindred souls are like-minded souls that you might not have a spiritual history, right? A past life connection. You may have, but just have such similar values, similar truths, that you recognize those traits in each other, if not recognize each other individual. These are souls with the same spiritual beliefs as yours, or perhaps you had similar experiences. Again, maybe that trauma, or maybe a common cause that was just as deep, even though this is your first time actually meeting the cause, the behind the scenes that you're bringing to the table, connected without you even realizing it. All right. It's just so peaceful to be around people who get you, right? People who you don't actually have to tell things to. They come, sometimes they just know. So now sometimes we have a soul contract. All right. Sometimes we make a soul contract either with another being, or it might be even with ourselves, a soul contract that says, I'm going to accomplish this on earth, or I'm going to, it might be to mentor a child. You may have a message that you need to bring into the world. It might be you're going to do something challenging. You're going to accomplish something specific. It might be feeling as if you have a soul contract that you can, it might be that knowing, so sometimes, I don't know, we're compelled to do things right in our lives. We're compelled to chase something, to discover something, to explore something. We don't know why, right? It might just be that the inspiration and the fortitude to do those things are coming from that soul contract, because this decision was made long before it happened here, right? Helps you stay on your mission through trying times, through discouragement. And then there's a soul teacher. Sometimes somebody comes along in our lives just to teach us something we needed to know, right? A mentor, a soul teacher. They have a very specific lesson to teach us. It might be a skill. It might be a piece of knowledge. It might be a situation, but they're here to teach you by challenging you to leave old ways behind, teaching you the value of thinking for yourself, new ways of thinking. They challenge you with new perspective that challenges your rock solid beliefs and brings on a new paradigm in your life, right? These are our soul teachers. And the truth is, we've all played both roles. Your soul has been both the teacher and the student in that situation, in this life, and probably beyond this life, right? And then we have soul crossings. Now, this is the saying, like ships that pass in the night. These are souls that we feel a connection with, even if they're only in our lives for the briefest of moments, maybe just a few moments, right? It may be just one day or just one situation, but we had something we needed to give each other, to teach each other. There was a reason that we needed to cross paths. These relationships teach us not to judge the quality or the importance of our relationships strictly by their longevity or their seniority, right? You can have, there are movies made every day about this idea that someone comes into your life for just a moment and changes everything. So how do you know if you're having a soul connection, or if you just have the same sense of humor with somebody, right? How do you know that it's actually a soul connection? Well, they have some really specific characteristics. For instance, the intensity, the depth of the relationship, the insights. The interaction is a sign of a soul connection. The depth of those insights and interactions is a sign. You feel as if you're never going to be the same, right? You've been changed forever. You meet someone, you have a conversation, and life will never be the same because you've seen it and you can't unsee it. You've moved into a new perspective and there's no turning back. There's no going back to the old dark ways of looking at it. These soul connections, they help us to learn what we love and hate about ourselves, right? They hit us at our core and they mirror back our qualities. In her book, Eat, Pray, Love, Elizabeth Gilbert writes, a true soulmate is probably the most important person you'll ever meet because they tear down your walls and smack you awake. Soulmates come into your life just to reveal another layer of yourself to you. That's why we're triggered by their words or actions. Sometimes they're reflecting back insecurities and worries. And they can also show us our best selves, though, our potentials, our possibilities, what's still ahead of us, what still could be ahead of us. But remember, the bond of a soulmate is energetic, right? It's an intensity of energy that we feel. We might think about these people a lot, right? We might carry them in our hearts and souls and think about them long past the relationship ends, or maybe even on a daily basis. We're not seeing them often, but we're thinking about them often. We feel as if they're with us often. I have friends that I feel like I don't see you for years and years, but I'm talking to you all the time in my heart. I'm thinking about you. I'm having memories of you. And so we're connected, right? Those are our soul relationships, that are energetic intertwinings. You might have some telepathy. Maybe you have somebody where you just always know what the other person is thinking, right? Soul connection. A shortcut language. You say one thing and you mean something different, but they know what you mean. So you stay connected to that energy even when you leave that relationship. So finally, do you want to have more soul connections in your life? You want to find more soulmates? You want to get the opportunity to have more of these folks in your life? Well, look for them in like-minded people, right? Look for them in people who share your passions and your causes. If you love art, get involved in an art community. If you care about a specific cause, find people who are working on that cause. Surround yourself with other folks who believe what you believe, who have the same core values, who lead with the same idea, lead with love and kindness like you do. And you're likely to find a soul connection there. And if you do find or recognize one of these connections, look for the lessons. Participate in the intensities. Be aware of the connections. Learn the lessons. Celebrate the moments when we make those connections. If it's a tough one, if it's a hard one, just be grateful. You needed the lesson, right? If it was a hard lesson, they're here to help you avoid this lesson in a harder, more difficult, more painful form, right? You're here with your soul connections because you've made agreements to love and support each other. So remember, when people are being mean to you or are hurting you or are perhaps, I don't know, it's not working out the way you want it to be, step back and open your mind to the idea that this is a soul connection, that you made an agreement way long ago, the beginning of time, and that this person was going to come into your life and that they have shouldered the burden of being that unpleasantness that you require to move you to the next level, right? There's a little segment, I wish I had looked it up, but I'm going to end with this little segment from the end of a book I love, which is called Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh. And in it, he talks about this. This might have been in this. He wrote 3 of these books. This might have happened in the second or third one. Don't quote me. Did it happen in the first one? But he talks about these souls having this conversation about, here's what's going to happen. I need you to do this for me when we get back. We're best friends, souls. We're best friends. We're little stars up in the heavens, right? In our astral beings, in our other dimension. And we have best friends. And we say to the friends, when I come back the next time, I'm going to need you to do this job for me. I need to learn this lesson, and I need somebody to be the jerk in my life. And your friend is like, oh, okay, I love you so much that I will weather that unpleasantness, that hurt, that pain for you. So next time someone's being mean to you, stop and think. Maybe this was an agreement you made a long time ago. Love that person for bringing I said I wasn't going to cry today. Love the person for bringing that lesson to you. Sometimes it takes time to find that, to feel that. But, oh my God, what happened to me? I know. All right, I'll just end like this. I can't even think of what I want to say because I'm having a moment here thinking about a relationship in my life, in my past. Okay, anyway, thank you for sticking with me through this little crying jag, but when you feel that intensity, good or bad, pay attention. It's telling you something. You didn't have that connection for nothing. You didn't have that intensity happen in your life for no reason. All right. So here I am crying again. I think I'm going to make this a new thing on my today when I cry. Anyway, that's how intensely we feel these things, right? That me sitting here talking about it, talking about the idea that people that bring negativity and pain into our lives have made a connection. Embarrassing. Made an agreement with us to bring us a painful lesson. And if we can learn to love those people and thank them, let go of our resentment, and see it for what it is, this is how we evolve. This is how we grow and change. And so, now that I've got back enough of my fortitude to actually speak in a real voice, I will say thank you for sharing this moment with me. Go out and look for your soul connections. Go out and celebrate those relationships that started at the beginning of time and will probably continue long past the end of this lifetime. That's our show for today. Tears and all. Kind of a sign, huh? Kind of tells you when you know there's that kind of a connection when even thinking about it can make this happen. Well, maybe that's just me. I don't know. Anyway, that's our story for today. A couple of announcements quickly. At the end of the broadcast tomorrow, I'll have my cousin Marcello will be joining me live, and we're going to talk about entrepreneurship and having a heart-based business and having a message that you want to bring to the world and how you go about making that into your life's work. So that'll be fun tomorrow. And then the rest of the week, I'll be on location in Palm Springs on vacation with the family. The show goes on. The show must go on. I will be here every morning. The scenery. I'll just literally be location. All right. That's our show today. Go out and make it a happy day. I'm over my crying jag. And until tomorrow, make it a happy day.